And corner should start running.
There we go.
Is running.
We are running. It's been going live very quickly lately.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate because it used to sometimes take about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Hey everybody, come on in. We see you out there in the hallway. Come on in. We know you're there.
Another beautiful Thursday morning. Yeah, I've got trying to think if I got anything new.
Everything is new.
Yeah. All new all the time. Yeah. Infinitely pouring coffee cup.
It never ends.
Well, yeah. Although it should, one day it should just fill up. One day it should just overflow.
That's up to you. You awesome. need to make that GIF.
Yeah.
Where it's just flowing all over the cup and getting all over the table. That'd be hilarious.
I'm fairly certain there's a hole at the bottom of both the cup and the table.
Yeah, it's more than likely that's what someone's done.
The great Mike Jimmy is in the house.
Hey.
Afternoon, lovelies. Adventures of Korra. It's the cup with the hole in the bottom again. Yes.
Yeah, sir.
Got a dinosaur says, good morning, peeps.
Yeah. What do we have here? Okay, I'm getting some stuff.
Morning, dreaded dinosaur.
Queued up on this side.
Life on Korra. Available now on Indiegogo. Mike Jimmy. Unique book.
It is. It's a pretty unique book. But
shall we send Mike a link this morning?
Sure, if Mike wants to come in, I can.
Mike, you wanna come in, Mike? I'll send you a link.
Tell him if he doesn't come in, I'll accuse him of horrible things. All online. It'll be all,
We can make up stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. I make it up and then, he'll be.
Or stranger still, we could tell the truth.
Yeah, oh my goodness. That's what nobody wants. Not the truth. Anything but that.
They all think we're lying anyway. Mike Jimmy, I need to find you on Facebook. There you are, right there. Got it? Send you a link if you so desire, Mike Jimmy.
Said that he'll join in a little bit because he's grabbing. So give me 10 is what he said.
You can take as long as he needs.
Dude, it's 3 p.m. there.
Oh yeah, sure.
He could be grabbing lunch. He's a little slow in the uptake, that kid.
Russ. Good afternoon, Russ. Hope you're doing well.
Is that Russ Leach hanging out in the chat?
That's Mr. Russ Leach.
Mr. Russ Leach, right.
He has a black belt,
Yeah, which is why we don't we give Russ a lot of room to say what he wants.
And now he also has a link.
The last thing I want to be is Jackie Chan across the room by Russ. Those type of.
I was going to say more like Chris Tucker, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, me and Russ could do a good buddy cop movie.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
Marv in the house. Marv, I've left my post at my job to wish you a great day. I'll catch you later tonight. Beware of the killer. Sin killer coming soon. Be safe.
Thank you, sir.
It's a Sensei Russ Leach, please. All right, Sensei. Sensei Rush Leach.
Word has it that there's a Russ Leach biopic coming out where he'll be played by Jason Statham.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. He's keeping the deal quiet, but I've already
he'd do that for you. He'd do that buddy cop movie with you.
See? Yeah. We can take down international diamond smugglers. Him with his, martial artistry, and me with my shoot first, ask questions later.
I could play the grumpy police chief that yells at both of you for getting out of line.
Yeah.
And not following proper procedure.
Yeah.
Can I bring the donuts?
And next time, buddy, keep your feet on the floor.
What did I do? Oh yeah, you look at those. I look at police movies, and I know a couple of actual officers, and they always tell me, if half that stuff happened, those cops would be up to their eyeballs in paperwork.
Yeah,
Right.
Like they'd still be filling out paperwork afterwards.
Joe, from the desk of a small press publisher, coffee is pouring. Cheetos are still not replaced, and the 2-day-old donuts is older. Another day. It is time for the breakfast buzz. Working on prime time Saturday night before I clock in. There you go.
Prime time Saturday night.
And Russ says pew pew. Pew pew. That's paperwork right there. You have the 24 hours, or I'll get your badges. Yeah, exactly. You have 24 hours. I'm going to take your badge and gun. Get it right.
Yeah. Those movies are always the best, and I love them. Where's my stuff? Okay, there you are.
It's time to roll that beautiful bean footage and start the show.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
How dare you?
Boom. Good morning, everybody. Come on in.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
That's the wrong show. That's that's some show.
That's a whole different show. We
But
try not to use their clips.
my grandmother always sings that, so it's just the first thing that comes to mind when I think of mornings.
Sugar's gonna send us a message like, hey.
Yeah, really.
Uh-oh.
That's my shtick.
Yeah.
Leave my shtick alone. Yeah, he always starts with that from Singing in the Rain.
Yeah. Also, totally making sure that he doesn't get any monetization by using that clip.
Yeah.
Every time I say, like, what are you doing? You're not gonna get monetized. But I don't think they care. They're like, nah, we don't.
That song might be too old for them to copy. Well, probably not, though, actually. I don't know if he gets copyright struck for that or not.
Well, there is no such thing as bad press.
That too. He's probably in the same boat we are. You going to copyright strike us? Sure, take all our money. We're not monetizing anyway.
Yeah. They probably don't care.
Our audience is worldwide and much bigger than YouTube. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mike Jimmy is now in the house drinking
Hey,
water.
dude.
Good morning.
Indeed, I am. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
How was lunch?
needed.
Needed, he says. I don't believe so. I think he I personally think he just wakes up, he's full. Although, Randy, I am a little upset though. There's one thing you mentioned that we won't be able to we don't have Daphne here.
No.
She's
not here.
Yeah,
And it's all up to us to make up her excuses. April, why is Daphne not here?
I don't know, Daphne. Is she
And
even real?
and now you never will because she's not here. And I'm just kidding.
There you go. Right,
Yeah.
I'm missing out on a great opportunity.
She's
Maybe
missing
she
out.
join the Mystery Machine Gang.
There you go.
Yeah, I made her a video.
You did?
Yeah, I made a Daphne video.
Is that why she's not here?
It could be. It could be. She could have been like, I'm not going on there. He has a video. And
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I've had that clip for weeks. She can't be mad about that.
no. I made I think my video was nice, and I think it was well intentioned.
Mike has left the room.
Roro.
Let's say strange things about Mike Jimmy now that he's out of the room.
Oh yeah, he's totally weird, man.
Wow.
You know,
It's an awesome book that fits in with today's motif. It's sweet. I think it's incredible.
Who?
Why, of course, it was Mike Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
It's all
Yeah.
Mike's fault.
Sure it was. Blame Mike. Blame Mike is what I say. When in doubt, blame Mike.
Cheers.
There has to be a scapegoat somewhere.
He should always be the scapegoat, at least for me. I don't like whenever something happens, I'm like, I need to blame somebody. Aha, there's Mike.
Mm.
You do keep saying how much of a goat you are.
Oh yeah. The greatest of all time, baby.
Yeah, greatest of all time.
When my daughter was younger, her babysitter would be like, she's like a goat. She literally will eat anything. Books, paper, food, of course. And I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, I never really thought of naming somebody, a goat.
I mean, did you just call my child a goat? Is that what you Uh-oh.
Standards and practices is calling.
Standards and practices?
We are definitely in trouble.
Daphne probably called. They just called me.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Hey, as long as it's not the kind of call that I had earlier this week from Texas, because that was painful.
Yeah.
April
Here's,
called you. What's going on?
Yeah, right?
Has somebody called you asking about your car warranty?
Oh, God.
Or they tell you that the file at the FBI has been opened on you? That you need
No,
to
I made
call
a
and get this
mistake,
straightened out immediately.
I made a mistake on my VAT, and that hurt. So I got a week to pay a lot of money, and it's painful.
Ouch.
So if anyone wants a
Sorry to hear that.
commission, I'm open. Hit me up on
That's one way to put it.
Twitter.
That's one way to put it. Oh, you meant open for commissions. I thought you meant open because you got screwed. I'm sorry.
Are you sure you
Well,
actually
yes.
owe that? Are you sure you actually owe
yes.
that? Because that's a big scam here in the States where they call up and represent the IRS and try to get a couple thousand out of you. Yeah.
They don't do that in the land of the Dutch. They don't scam people.
Well, they do, but no, this was actually taxes themselves because they could look into the numbers that I put in, and that is a protected website. So
they didn't need your information; they already had it.
Exactly. That's even worse.
That's when you know.
Well. I mean, at least listen. At least you know now, and they're giving you the glorious opportunity to fix it.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, well.
Have you
So
got
that's
the
the other half.
commission due there?
Yeah, I got it here. There we go. This is a commission I did earlier for Nina.
Hang on, Mike.
For that's her main character, Ivy, who is a Vespertinus Falcon and a Bubo Owl.
Yes.
Yes.
Boobo boobo. It's so funny.
Bubo, who is her mom. So, yeah,
Aw.
this was a quick little commission. It's only A5, so it's tiny, and I'm not used to working this small. I normally
Really?
work like 8 times this size. So,
Yeah, see, I guess I can understand that. Yeah, Randy, look, I'm not gonna be able to use this.
Oh.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw
not
that.
able to use that. And if you look inside the coffee cup, it says something.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. It
I
says
saw
something.
a dusting, but I didn't see what it said.
Yeah.
Oh,
What did it say? Too fast.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And there's the other one.
Is that Furby prom?
No.
No. It says. Oh, hold on. It
No,
says-
I know what it said. I
Yeah.
just know that I can't really say it. It
Oh,
obviously says Furby prom.
That's all right. Everybody knows that these broadcasts are TVMA DLSV. So, where the V stands for variant. And the L stands for language. So
That's right. Language.
Language.
And
It
then,
won't be the first time furry porn was said on this program.
no. Some people think it's actually like furry. We're talking about like,
Mhm.
yeah. It's like no.
Bestiary, but
Like
no.
not like unshaven people. It's like no, not unshaven people.
No.
Okay, it's
That's
the one
weird.
genre I haven't been asked to draw.
That would be the 70s.
It's the one genre that Nina and I are very familiar with, even if we don't want to be it sometimes. Because they got money. They have money, and that's the short and long of it.
To save us all, we're adding Russ Leach to the mix. Russ, how are you?
Furry porn.
And he saved us.
Yeah.
It's always a great thing. Furry porn. Booby corns. We love
Booby
it.
corns.
Yeah.
See, this is where we need Daphne.
Yeah, we should
I
go
think
around the room and introduce ourselves.
She's out ranting at sheep.
Yeah.
And as we all introduce ourselves, let's make up a reason why Daphne isn't here.
Okay.
Varian, you can go first.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Varian Grant. I am the founder of IndieVolt Media LLC. Started making comics way back in 2008. And I'm a comic book publisher, artist, creator, father, geek, husband, reluctant taxpayer, not necessarily in that order. And Daphne is not here today because she has decided to take up tribal dance lessons and twisted her ankle.
To the point where she can't lip to the microphone.
Yeah.
Tribal dance lesson.
That's right. Tribal dance lesson. Yeah.
Well, hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman, and I have been doing alternative and independent comics for many decades, freelanced a lot, retailed for a good decade, did convention coordination for another good decade, and now I'm working on bringing Arrow Comics back to the direct market with a series of books for another decade, yes, at least. With a series of books that begin in August. So that'll be available through Liberty Distribution, of which Varian owns, Liberty Entertainment Distributors. So retailers get over to ledg.us, sign up, and get ready, because when Liberty offers a book up for sale, it'll be in the mail within the next day or so, and directly to you. So no having to order 3 months in advance. You can get the books like within a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the Liberty service there. So if you want more information on Arrow Comics, please go over to Facebook. There's an Arrow Comics 4.0 page where we are showing artwork off. Soon we will have a presence on Twitter and Indiegogo later today, hopefully. And other than that, I'm part of the IndieVolt radio network, and we've done a book that's available over on Indiegogo called The IndieVolt Revolt, which is a collection of short stories featuring a large body of talent, the vast majority of which you can hear here on the IndieVolt radio network. So go over there and check it out over on Indiegogo. All you have to do is type Revolt in the search bar, and IndieVolt Revolt should pop right up. There are only 2 days left in this campaign. So, in fact, tomorrow evening we plan on having a campaign closing stream party to celebrate the fact that the book is done. So
it's done. It's done.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes, Nina, introduce yourself.
Ahoy, everyone.
Ahoy.
I'm Nina. I have been creating comics for a little over 5 years now, and I have just gotten into the whole crowdfunding stuff. Didn't really know it was possible to get a comic printed without it being entirely out of your pocket, and it is wonderful. I have launched my crowdfunding campaign just last week, Sunrise Blossom, on Indiegogo, and we are already 60-something%, and it is going great. And I am having a wonderful day, and I hope that you all will have also a great day as yours progress. sis. There we go. Okay.
And
But,
I just wanted to say the reason Daphne Lage isn't with us today
Oh,
is because there was a whole bookshelf of comics that ended up falling in her house, and she's been trying to fix it ever since.
Ah,
So
and I haven't known Daphne very well just yet, but I am assuming that she woke up this morning with a unicorn horn on her head and has found herself reincarnated in her comic following the new anime cliches and is now figuring out how to proceed.
sounds good.
Nice.
Russ, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Russ Leach. I am the comic book black belt. You can find me on YouTube as a comic book black belt. I've had a career in all kinds of things, and got back to comics in 2010, where I started drawing in anger. Since then, I've been able to work with Marvel, BBC on Doctor Who, Cartoon Network, that kind of stuff, and now I'm producing my own books. And you can find out more about that at onlydeathcansavus.com, as well as with Arrow Comics. It will be out with Arrow Comics later this year. I'm part of the family now, which I'm very happy about. You can also find me at russleach.com and comicbookblackbelt.com. And it's quite amazing to hear that Daphne woke up with the horn. That's impressed me. I think she was so upset by the abuse she got from being having woken up with a horn and telling everybody she'd woken up with a horn, that she's now outside shouting at sheep. So there you go.
She must have been so distressed when she woke up realizing she had a horn that she knocked over her bookcase of books. Yeah,
knocked over the bookcase. Like all of these, you could string all of these reasons together.
Yeah.
They'd work.
Never
They'd
stand
work
behind
in a
a
book.
horse. This
Yeah,
is why.
Don't stand behind Daphne when she's got the horn. That's what you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, the horns probably
Not in the front
come from
either. That's dangerous. It's pointy.
the horns probably come from the fact that she took the medication for a twisted ankle.
there you go.
It all adds up. It all adds up. It's a
Side
story.
effects make
It comes together.
Yeah.
She's going to be back on Sunday Funnies, and I'll bet you she's going to find a horn somewhere. Just to see. Yeah.
We're gonna get some abuse on Sunday.
How do
COVID
all
Kev.
COVID Kev?
I know a wonderful furry fursuit creator that creates horns as a hobby. So she could probably find one in her web shop.
Daphne is currently ranting at human sheep in the street. Yes,
Bah. Who did that?
it's bad. Yeah, Mike, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Jimmy of Fairies and Ents. You can find all the stuff that we've done so far on fairiesandents.com. You can find Life on Korra 3 in demand on Indiegogo, where we're shipping the moment you order. And Life on Korra 4 already has the email list going as well, where we managed to get the shipping down to only €8 to the US, the UK, and the European Union. And if you sign up, you can get 30 to 40% off of every physical order. So please do. We're really looking forward to sending this one to everyone. And the reason that Daphne is late is because she is now widening her backdrop from being all her characters to just being all kinds of booby corns because she's obsessed now.
Obsessed with booby corns. She's not here because she's paying your VAT bill, mate. That's what
No, I can't hire her because I literally don't have the money to. So I can't pay her shit.
By the way, you said you have a week to pay it. What happens if you don't?
I get a fine of another €250, and then it turns into €2,000. So,
mate, that Dutch government, they'll come and break your legs. That's what.
Oh God, yeah. So I'm looking for commissions, guys. I do all kinds of stuff.
You know what they're like? They're all like, yeah, have a cafe, go and get some weed, have some coffee. It'll be fine. Don't pay your VAT. The boys will be round.
Oh yes.
Mike, listen. OnlyFans, just for fans.
Patreon,
Grindr, whatever you
thunder.
Whatever you got to do to get that money up.
Well, the thing is, like, I would have to shave, and I'm not talking about my beard, and I don't feel like that because it's still cold outside.
Woohoo!
April, please
That was-
introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm April Reyna. I can be found on Instagram and Facebook under Reyna Art, Reyna. I currently have a Kickstarter that's live for May. I am doing an art book of nothing but mermaids, and it's absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Super colorful, very diverse, very dynamic. And I like to construct my my artwork traditionally, like using Copics and color pencils, iridescent glitter spray. Oh, it's so fabulous. Anyway, the Kickstarter is currently live and will be running the entire month of May. We're getting ready to launch an Indiegogo with the similar content but different covers. So look for that in the very, very near future. I've been doing art since 2009. I freelance illustrate for children's books. I do sketch cards for Dynamite and Upper Deck, and I don't know anybody else that'll have me. I've started doing comic covers for Naughty Stripper Fairy Assassins and Totally Red comics, as well as Big Dog Inc. I had a Lady Death cover that got published not too long ago.
Nice.
Cool.
So all good things, all good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been like a long time coming. Like, hey, Brian. Hi, Brian. Oh, look, it's me again. I don't know. Just all kinds of weird stuff. But he finally gave me a chance, and I was really excited about that. So this year, I'm looking at probably having 2 comics released in addition to some art books. And I don't know. Whatever nonsense I can get into.
You had me at Naughty Super Fairy Assassins.
Yeah.
If you have not
Larry.
seen my Naughty Stripper Fairy covers, my
Oh,
God.
is it Naughty Stripper Fairy Assassins?
Naughty Stripper Fairies. Yep.
Who
I've
does
got-
that now?
Wow.
So this was the line art, but the
Aha.
colors are like pretty on point.
Sweet.
Good shit.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is our cross promos. So I've got my mermaid with her Naughty Stripper Fairy, and then my mermaid in an iridescent tub. Like you can see her tail all the way over here. So it's
There you
like
go.
a burlesque show.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So
Very
you'll have
happy.
to, yeah.
Very happy you didn't finish off the nipples there. Facebook would have yanked us off the air real quick.
Sorry, guys. I got
Oh, yeah.
work like now, so I gotta go.
You have to
Bye,
go?
Miss Tina.
Aw.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, I have work.
Aw.
So thank you guys for having me.
All
and
right.
see
Well,
you
we
around.
have.
Take it easy,
we have-
hon.
I have Sunrise Blossom here to show, and we will
Okay,
show
thank you,
that.
but I really
and talk
gotta go.
about
I have work in like
Understood.
2 minutes ago. Okay.
Nina, thanks
Yeah.
for coming on. We love having you. You're welcome back on anytime. Take care. And she's gone. Poof.
Aw.
Yep.
But anyway, we can actually show her book since she just left. And that is Sunrise Blossom, Volume 1. It's a 220 plus page. I'm not sure what GL Comics stands for.
Girls love.
Girls Love Oh, okay. Got it. Girls Love Comic. Suddenly that explains the illustrations I saw below.
Oh,
about
yes.
a young harpy coming of age. Yes, available.
In fact,
and
I'm back at number
Indiegogo.
1. Aha.
Are you?
there we are. Harpies,
Yeah.
lesbians, falcons, and drama. Yep.
Nice.
Now,
Such an awesome illustration there.
we covered her on Webtoon. It came from Webtoon, and she actually came on, and we talked to her about it. And I actually really like the story. So this is the printed version,
Yes.
Yes.
and this is it's cool to see it go from the digital scrolling on Webtoon
Mm-hmm.
to this version of like the printed version. You can check it out, hold it in your hand, bunch of pages, nice book you just sit back and get into. And then you also it's got lesbians in it.
Hell yeah.
Lesbians. Let's be honest.
Love that bottom
Let's
panel.
be
where
honest. Yeah, I see
let's
what
be honest. Yes. Love that bottom panel where she's waking up. Boink.
Yeah.
Sweats profusely.
That's how I wake up in the morning.
Hashtag moist.
Sweating profusely.
Yeah,
Sweating
yeah.
profusely.
Well, I have a heated blanket, so.
Well then, damn it, turn it down.
No, I need it nice and warm. No, I have one time I woke up. After we finish looking at her book, I'll tell you guys the story. Yay! What's that? Well, I like the fact that she's so the characters. She's a bird, so she can transform back into a bird. So she doesn't. She's so innocent. She doesn't know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she could have been taking advantage of other people, but like you don't know what that is. Let me show you. Like, oh.
Yeah.
That couldn't happen in this world. Like imagine some girl showing up with like half bird. I mean, we kind of got that. I mean, there are some celebrities who look like birds.
There are some celebrities with bird feet, as I understand it.
And guys, for those listening or watching along, no, there is no not safe for work stuff in this book. And there isn't either on the webtoons because that's literally not allowed, and it's not blocked out or anything either. If you really want to see some not safe for work stuff from this comic, you will have to go to a Patreon. If Heartbeats are your thing, then this, feel free to support our Patreon and help her even more keep going on this book.
I've
Oh, cute.
I want to know why the Italian girls always have the sexy comic. You look at this one, and you look at Lola's Lore. What's going on with the Italian women?
Well, they're a lot easier on, like Europeans are a lot easier when it comes to that kind of stuff. But not only that, just Italians are known for their comics.
Brunettes are sexy.
Yes.
Dutch. So here's a headline on indievote.com later. Dutch man Mike calls Italian woman easy. Here we go. That's the headline.
Fuck you too, Mike.
There's a whole different sexual attitude between the closeted, constrained stateside than pretty much everywhere else. So
yes,
Randy Zimmerman calls remaining male audience closeted.
Keep taking me out of context. You know how I love it. Joe says, you forget Daphne's a teenager. She doesn't wake up until noon on her days off from magical creatures school. She's happy that she's making progress on unicorn horn fighting and magic defense.
Yeah, she's always late in the morning, so she runs to school with a piece of bread in her mouth. I don't know what it is.
I can imagine her doing that too. Oh, out the way.
We'll have Nina. Yeah, we'll have Nina on again sometime when she can stay a little longer and not have to absolutely rush off to work. And we'll talk more about Sunrise Blossom then. There are 27 days left in her campaign. She has a flexible goal that she's 65% towards. So take a look at Sunrise Blossom, Volume 1, over on Indiegogo.
And check it out on Webtoon if you just want to get a sample of how the book is.
Yes,
it's over there on Webtoon for free. So.
Webtoon, Sunrise Blossom.
Larry in the chat, Larry says, I said, hell. Pop says, smash the like, share the stream. Larry says, someone say sexy. And then Gabriel says, what is preferred tablet art program? Oh, man. Sketchbook Pro. It's my preferred one so far.
I keep to Clip Studio Paint.
Yeah, well, I like Clip Studio. It's funny. I like Clip Studio on my tablet, on my Surface. But it's weird. But if I'm here on my Wacom, I like Sketchbook. Yeah, it's the weirdest shit. I can't explain why.
I use Clip Studio on my Wacom. I don't really use a tablet to draw on at all.
No.
I don't. This is my daughter does. She's very used to her iPad, and she uses the Procreate. Is it?
Yeah.
She uses that, and she's also got Clip Studio because she's been doing some coloring for me as well. But personally, I'm an old I'm an old donkey. I've come to Cintiq. I've come to my Wacom, and I just can't use anything else. It's either traditional or it's on the Wacom. I can't be doing with tablets. So I know lots of people love using their small tablet. I can't be doing with it. It's just too small, and I can't. I don't know. Maybe it's because my vision's gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't. Yeah. I just can't get on with it. Can't get on with it.
For me, I got the tablet. I got the tablet because I was, doing so many conventions, and Eric, it was Eric Hodson, Dread Dinosaurs. He had upgraded to the iPad. He had switched over to using the iPad Pro, and I was like, "What are you gonna do with this one?" He's like, "I'm gonna sell it."
Yeah, but Eric's super tech. Eric is. I'm going to call him NFT Eric.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, he just knows. Yeah. He knows everything. I've gone out and got some Dogecoin with my son because I thought, what the hell? Because Eric said, "Go do it." Yeah. I've got to do some NFTs on some of my work for Only Death Can Save Us. But it's like he's like super tech. He knows. Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. So I bought Eric's old tablet as his old and it was not. It was so he only had it for like 3 months, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And the cool thing is, I don't know if he hacked some of the programs on there, but there is stuff on there I should not have access to, but I still like his programs, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll.
So he's got access to your bank account now as well.
He might have access to mine. Yeah. You won't find anything in there. I keep my mattress were safe.
Under your blanket.
Indie Vote radio question for you, Randy.
Well, before we get there, Gabriel asks, what's a good art program for the iPads?
Procreate, Sketchbook, Clip Studio is on there as well.
My daughter swears by Procreate, I have to say, and she's got Clip Studio, and it was a bit more fiddly.
Yeah,
I've always used Adobe Photoshop. That's just what I use, and I don't know anything else. Back when I used to do color separations for DC, like we've always used Photoshop, and I just can't teach an old dog new tricks. What can I say?
I know where that
goes.
Yeah. I used Photoshop for the longest time because I was in production, in retail and design and art directed and what have you. So it was the default Photoshop, and actually Quark Express was the default layout application. Going back some now, and that was the thing. So when I came to illustration. Digital illustration in 2010, the first thing I did was just pick up Photoshop. It just seemed the normal thing. But about a year or so ago, because I'm very lazy, my brushes were all over the place, and I ended up having a problem with Photoshop. And so I just thought, I'll just go and get Clip Studio and see what it's like. And I haven't looked back, I must be honest. For drawing comics, it is the better for me. This is my personal opinion. It became the better application. I was stunned by it actually because I've always sworn by Photoshop.
Really?
But Clip Studio just blew me away. And now I do everything. Now I'm penciling in Clip Studio and inking in the real world. So it's kind of I've kind of gone full circle. But yeah, Photoshop is difficult to say a bad thing about it, really.
Well, the thing is, Photoshop is very broadly made for illustration and digital illustration in general, where Clip Studio Paint was specifically designed and started as a comic creation program. It started as Manga Studio.
Yeah, grew out of Manga Studio, didn't it? Yeah,
and that's where it grew out of. And now you have so many functions and stuff in there that they just tackle every like 3 or 4 months and update and add new things that will only make your workflow easier when it comes to comics.
Yeah, it is impressive, I have to say.
Gabriel says the issue with Adobe is that they are now strictly cloud-based and are rather unapologetic for folks with no internet access.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I had grade version of Adobe that I had back when I was in college. And just recently, I guess they got rid of the drivers for it. So when I got a new computer, I couldn't transfer the program to this laptop. And I was really pissed about it, and then didn't realize how old I was. My husband was like, your Photoshop's older than our marriage. And I was like, oh, okay, good point. So I literally just got the subscription to Adobe this past January. So I like the fact that I've got all this available cloud access, where I literally don't have to worry about bogging down my computer with all of the memory and stuff, because I don't think I do a whole lot. But then I look at my library of work and how many editions I actually save. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, so I'm gonna do a whole nother layer. And then before you know it, I've got like 6 or 8 different versions of, and the moment that you get rid of one, you're like, oh man, I really like that, and I could have gotten rid of all these other layers and kept going in a different direction, turn it into a whole other piece of art. So I like that I have that through the cloud, but I can understand if you don't have reliable internet or you don't have access to internet on a daily basis or whatever, how that could totally be non-start. So, but I've heard nothing but good things about Procreate, so that might be
your way to go, Gabriel. And I'm an old dog that has done a lot of commercial art for years. I have 3 different systems that I keep around me at all times, 2 of which are always off the net. And one, I'm able to use my vinyl cutter on. That actually has Windows 98 in it, because I need that operating system in order to run the driver, in order to run the vinyl cutter, which is like, it's an old dinosaur, but it's an old, very dependable dinosaur. The second system I use for my graphics and my layout, and I was always trained in apparel design. And when I was doing comics, I would always do my comics and lettering in CorelDRAW. And so I have a version of that on that computer. And on my more modern system, I was lucky enough to catch a really good gig where, quite frankly, my accountant told me that I either invested in myself or I'm going to be giving a lot of money to the government. So I went in and bought a top-notch system. I know an IT guy who is just fantastic as far as working up computers. So I have a top of the line with a lot of memory. I've got a Wacom Cintiq, and I was able to transfer the Photoshop over to that and have been running it. So all of my comic work is still on Photoshop, though a year ago I did catch Clip Studio Pro on sale and bought that, put it in the system, and I think I've opened it 3 times. One of these days I'm going to have the time to sit there and actually get into it and figure it out. But right now, with the way that things have been going in the deadlines and such,
you'd be surprised.
The old reliables that were.
You'd be surprised how quickly, because I had to jump into it because all my brushes went south in my VFX brushes in Photoshop, and because they all went south, I didn't know quite what to do. I was like, I've got to get something done. So I just jumped into Clip Studio, and there's still loads of stuff I don't understand about it. Somebody literally, working out how to do blue line. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but you can do it on a layer. It's just a button click. It's as simple as that.
It's literally one button.
In Photoshop, you'd have to lay down an overlay layer, and then see it through, and then print it out. In Clip Studio, it's literally there's a layer button to say blue line. It's as simple as that. And I didn't know that. I've been using Clip Studio quite intensely for about 18 months now, a year. And I didn't know that simply because I was just getting on and doing what I was doing. I hadn't gone away and learned anything particularly. I was just doing what I needed to do. So you'd be surprised how quickly you can jump into it. But yeah, I've got a copy of CS6 running on here, and I hopefully it will be okay when I go to my next computer because I'm gonna have to buy another one soon.
Yeah. Gabriel said the issue with Adobe is that they're not strictly cloud-based and are rather unapologetic for folks with no internet access.
Yeah.
That is true. We have Adobe Creative Cloud. We have a whole suite, but that's because they made it super cheap for my wife because she's in college.
Yeah, there is the money aspect as well.
Yeah.
It's basically a subscription-based model now. That is positive on the cloud-based, but when folks are on mission trips, I have been on a few research expeditions. There is no option for Adobe. When the noise of life is gone, the creative users really flow. And at the point, I need a new dev system for Apple to start running Swift and maybe Doodle on some of my Redneck skits, and only have to buy one hardware piece and still stay mobile. Yeah.
Well, when you're on those trips, Gabriel, you might have to go back to
pen and paper,
stone knives, and bear skins. Actually, carry a sketchbook and pen and paper
is always an option, and just having a set of pencils on you, they don't weigh much. Having a little pad, to sketch out things. Always have a little if your iPad runs out, you still can't do anything. So, and where you are at, you might not have electricity. At that point, you still got pen and paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
William Pace says, "Good morning, William. Hope you're doing well."
William,
thanks for listening.
So I got a thing to read you guys some Indie Vote, and I'm glad my camera's not on.
Uh-oh.
So are we.
Yeah.
Why is that? Oh, wait a minute. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Let me guess.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
No, because I'm probably gonna laugh. I don't want to laugh, but everyone's gonna groan at least 3 times during this letter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go on. Here we go. Another one.
Yeah, so all right, here we go. Okay. This and this is from Alan. I guess it's because ALANN. So Alan. So
probably Alan.
Alan. No, probably Alan.
Alan.
Yeah,
not Elon.
Elon. Okay.
Elon.
I feel
Elon.
You may have wrote in before then, because the thing sounds familiar. Anyway, I feel heartbroken and taken advantage of.
Oh no.
For years, I've wanted to draw and script an X-Men comic.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself with the time during the pandemic and finally did it. I began in earnest taking the comic around to cons that would have me and selling the book. I was constantly selling out, 50 to 60 copies a show. It all came undone when I submitted my comic to a bigger show for later this year. I got a call from a guy who I assumed was a fellow creator who asked me who my printer was, as he was impressed by the quality of my book. His express envelope with a cease and desist letter from a lawyer. 3 days after, 3 days later, an actual lawsuit, and now my printer is suing me as well. After I paid them to help me with my dream of being a Marvel artist come true. I am so heartbroken and can't even bring myself to draw anymore. For all my life, I've wanted to draw for Marvel. I finally do it, and now I am being sued and ruined financially. This is not fair. How can Marvel do this to me? I have done nothing wrong, not messing up any of their storylines.
I
really feel for this person. They're obviously passionate about what they're doing, and it's a heartfelt letter. But the bottom line is, you're using somebody else's property. Stop it. Okay, make your own X-Men and sell your comic, and then you don't get a cease and desist. Simple. Next.
Well, there's more letter.
There's more. It sounds like this gets deeper.
Keep going. Let's hear it.
For all my life, I've wanted to draw for Marvel. I finally do it, and now I'm being sued and ruined financially. This is not fair. How can Marvel do this to me? I have not done anything wrong. Not messing up any of their storylines. My trade is a one-shot. I sent one to Indie Volt's physical address and yours on your site. So maybe you can shed some light on my story and maybe convince Marvel to not do this to a fellow Marvel Comics artist. What can I do? Please help me. I even sent Marvel a print file when I completed the book before I printed, and they did not respond.
No, they don't respond to anyone.
Yeah.
That print file that you sent, if you sent it electronically, was just ignored. If you sent it physically, it went into a pile that nobody reads.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't get noticed until somebody brought that to their attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you're being sued, but you really need to know your rights. You can't use, like Russ said, you can't use other people's property.
You know, here's the thing, Alon. You keep saying you're a fellow Marvel Comics artist. You aren't. You can't just take their book, their characters, and use them like that.
Yeah.
You have to create your own characters.
You can take the inspiration. You can take their inspiration for the X-Men and create your own characters. Change the names, change the costumes. You can use a lot of the social dystopian underlines, the thematics that X-Men pulls from real life and puts them into their storylines. You can change a lot of things, but you can't just take the X-Men. You just can't. I mean, there's a lot of people that do the very same thing that I'm describing, where they create their own superhero team and have them go on those adventures, and it's very reminiscent and very, similar.
William points out you really weren't drawing for Marvel. You weren't. You were drawing for yourself. That's why you're being sued.
Yeah, you can't go around doing that. And the way to get Marvel and DC's attention and the big players' attention is to go out and make your own properties and sell them.
Yeah.
And if people like them, you'll get noticed. Okay. There is no sort of back in the day. Okay. Back in 95, I had a conversation over 6 months, 9 months with the new talent manager over at Marvel. And back in the day, you could do that. You could send your submissions in. They would have a conversation with you. They said, yes, your work is great, Russ. You've got what it takes. We'll distribute you around the editors. And that was the last I heard from them. And that was just the way it went. But that was the way it used to be. You could get yourself on a slush pile. In fact, it wasn't even a slush pile back then. They actually had a new talent manager, a scout that you would send submissions to. But now in the internet days, you can understand why they don't do that, because everybody and their brother thinks that they can draw for Marvel. Okay. And so they'd be inundated via the internet with all these submissions of people drawing stick figures, being, whatever. Okay. Some people fantastic, some people not so fantastic, but everybody would be drowned in the mass. So the only way to show yourself off is to go out there and do it. But if you go out there and do it by taking their characters and selling it in a book, they're going to sue you. That's the way it works. You got to do your own thing.
The reason that they're suing you, Alan, is because they're seeing you making money. They're not making money from.
Exactly.
You can draw those pages and put them in your portfolio, and you can show them at cons. Where you went wrong is that you were mass producing it. You were saying that you were a Marvel artist when you're not on their payroll, and you were submitting it as a Marvel artist to convention. So you're using their name rights to get you in.
Now,
those are all big things.
That's a massive no-no.
Yes.
Alan, there's only one way you're going to get out of this, and it's going to cost you some money. You're going to have to hire a lawyer. You're going to, and I do mean don't skimp. You're going to have to hire a lawyer and have that lawyer explain to everybody else's lawyer that you did not know what you were doing. You're probably going to have to pay a penalty. You're going to have to open your accounting books if you have any. If not, you should make some immediately to show how little money you actually made off of the book, and that you were naive going into this and won't do it again. You'll probably have to sign some paper agreeing never to draw those characters again unless Marvel decides to make you an employee. And you're basically going to have to fall on your sword to get out from underneath this. But don't stop drawing. And,
do that. Do that. And be professional about it. Be honest and decent, and you never know.
Eric Hawkins was in the chat going, that cannot be a real letter. LOL. Oh my God. Eric, I'm afraid that in all likelihood that is a real letter.
Yeah.
Though I'm kind of surprised that Marvel came in with lawyers right off the bat and not a cease and desist.
Well, he said they had a cease and desist late. Then 3 days later he got.
Yeah.
Because he probably get information. I'll tell you something else too. Your printers get the reason why your printer's suing you a lot is because they want to go. They don't want to be in the bullseye.
Yeah, they probably got at least a threat of a lawsuit or something from Marvel. It's not really Marvel lawyers you're dealing with here. You're dealing with Disney lawyers, and that's a big distinction because you don't screw with the mouse. You never screw with the mouse.
We're not 100% sure here either. You do need to get yourself legal representation.
Absolutely.
Because it may well be that somebody else has seen this and is scamming you. Okay, it might not be. We don't know what's on the letters, so we can't be 100% sure.
That's a really
so we
good point.
can't give legal advice. Okay,
No,
if it really is them, okay, then you've got to be completely honest and open yourself up to them. Say you were naive, and I would imagine nothing terrible will happen. Okay, but I'm not a legal advisor. I don't know this, but there is the possibility that somebody is scamming you and the printer. And they aren't, and it isn't actually Disney or Marvel that's coming after you. It's somebody else thinking, right, okay, let's go find this guy. So either way, you need legal representation. Because if it is a scam, the legal representation will work it out for you. And if it isn't, then there'll be your conduit to get yourself out of it. Exactly as Randy says.
Absolutely have to get that protection.
If it is a scam, stop doing what you're doing. Still, you still can't do what you did.
Yeah, still don't do it. No.
And Eric says Disney lawyers are relentless. And here's the other thing.
Now this also heralds back to a case with John Byrne, who decided he wanted to do his own version of X-Men and has put it up online, but he has made it clear he's not making any money off of this.
That's right.
He's doing this out of the kindness of his heart and the love for the characters, and he's putting it up online for everybody to enjoy for free. And if you have to draw X-Men like that and you can't get the Marvel okay, that would be the way to go for that. Don't make money on this. Don't make physical copies so that people can pass it around and do fall on your sword, because that's the only way you're going to get out of this.
But even then, he gets away with it because of who he is. If they can still tell you to cease and desist because it's their characters, even if it is for free. So
thing else for up and coming artists, if you are wanting to draw those characters, you can always take the sketch card route. You can do personal sketch cards of the likenesses of the characters, and you can submit them to the representatives for Upper Deck or Rittenhouse, and you can get feedback. Hey, I'm up and coming. I really like these sets. I know that you guys print them. I know that you market them. And I know that Marvel has to go through and do their okays for those things. This is a great way to get noticed. It's a great way to get honest feedback. It's also a segue into getting paid professional work to be on retainer. Let's face it, sketch card artists wind up having their own issues, just like the comic industry does. But if you're looking for a way in and that's your passion, that's certainly an option.
Yeah. And even that, you're going to be treading thin ground here anytime now. Whenever Marvel or Disney, who owns Marvel, decides that they don't want anybody making money off of their characters but them, they'll start sending representation around to conventions and that and telling people to stop.
It is only a matter of time.
It is.
Now it's time for my brand of nitwittery.
There you go.
By the way, all that's great advice. Here's my advice. Randy was right. Randy said, although Randy, when you said there's a way to get out of this, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. I thought you were going to say grab some rope. But the other thing is, you could walk in the courtroom.
Remember your sponsors, very.
I know.
Okay.
Well, he could have grabbed rope for tug of war. They could have played a game of tug of war. Loser drops the lawsuit. Here's the thing. When you go in that courtroom, I would let them know you were truly sorry. I would even read them a letter, much like you sent us here. Let them know that you are very passionate about these characters and that you did not intend to infringe on their copyright at all.
Yes.
You know, and if you have any paperwork, Alon, that if you have any, how can I put this delicately? If you have any paperwork that would help them see your state of mind, like period, I would provide that to a lawyer as well. Okay.
And now that I think about it, you really have to call that printer up into question too, because they, quite frankly, they should have known better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Unless you misrepresented yourself as a representative of Marvel and told them you needed that printed, they might have been thinking they were printing a Marvel comic this whole time. You never know. But because we've only all the story that we've seen is what's from your email. We haven't even seen what your book looks like.
Yeah, he said he's sending one to me. So
yeah,
the interview.
When you get that, I really want to see it.
Yeah. And you know what is happening? It might be better than what they're currently putting out.
Well,
that is likely, actually.
That might very well be, yes.
But not for us to suggest. There's plenty of people out there, I'm sure, that could draw Only Death Can Save Us better than me, but they ain't going to bloody touch it. It's mine.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that seeing Only Death Can Save Us 2?
Yeah, just somebody else seeing it.
Yeah.
It's like just seeing somebody else draw it. Like, what the hell? Where did that come from? Who did that? And I'm in the Muppets.
Yeah. Who are you, sir? I demand satisfaction.
But seriously, Alon, you would have had to have done something pretty egregious in order to get their attention. And they must have decided you were making a lot of money, because there's usually a rule of 500 when it comes to this kind of thing. That's why you don't see a lot of Disney lawyers going around at conventions and telling people to stop, because they look at that as like fan service. But making your own book, printing your own book, selling your own book, that's a whole different animal. And if you did receive or ignored a cease and desist, that's a problem. And you really need to get a lawyer.
You know, I remember a friend of mine got a cease and desist on a he was a musician, and he was using a rap beat, and he got a cease and desist. And in that cease and desist, it said compliance with this cease and desist in no way, shape, or form suggests that we will not sue you at a later date and time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So just because you come out of cease and desist does not mean they can't come back on you later and say, okay, now we've had some time to assess the totality of what you've done. Now we decided we want some of that money that you got.
Now you're really in trouble.
Yeah. Now you've done it.
I've only been sent a cease and desist once, and that was over a logo that I was using for a company. And I was going to change the logo because they said it was really close to their logo, which it really wasn't, but they were just being overly anal. I was planning on changing the logo anyway, which I ended up doing. But I also took the letter to my lawyer, who then turned around and rifled a lawyer back at them, basically daring them to come at us because the logos were that far, and was pointing out that was that far. It's not the easiest route to take, because I have a dear friend who's very much a bulldog of a lawyer, but he said, I'm going to handle this. And if I get you into trouble, you'll get a discount. But he basically
nice him. A discount.
Because they came at me and wanted a $10,000 use of every time I used the logo, and they were different enough, more than distinguishable enough from each other. So he wrote him back and basically said, what's in your fucking head? Are you nuts? Look at this. This is wrong. If you want to come at us, but dude, you're going to lose. Says, and besides, we've already changed the logo. I ended up changing the logo very minutely, but it was a change I was already looking at doing in the first place. But it was really a stupid letter. So it got a stupid response. Oh no, I take that back too, because I sent an unsolicited submission to Archie one time too, and got a cease and desist letter, I gotta say. that wasn't officially from a lawyer, but they tried to make it sound like it was. And it was basically, fuck you, don't ever use our characters again.
All right. Archie is so lovely.
At that point, Archie was incredibly lovely. But I was pitching them a property, and in the letter I said, I recognize these are your characters. This is what I would do with them. And they sent me back a fuck no, fuck you, don't ever do it again letter. And the same lawyer was so impressed with the verbiage on the letter, he was keeping it on file in case he needed to refer back to it when he needed to address another client. Yeah.
That's harsh, isn't it?
Well, he got a kick out of it.
The last question here from Indy.
He said it was the most succinct "fuck you" letter he had ever read in his life.
That's beautiful.
From Indie Vote Radio, and this is one for Russ because as an artist, I'm gonna get this for Russ. I know everyone. I know everyone here is an artist, but this is for. I want Russ to answer this one first. How in the F? Sorry, my son's in the room now, and maybe he's doing school, so I don't want the kids to hear me drop the F bomb. How in the F? Oh, and this is from. And this one is from Cal, K-A-L-E, Kale.
Hey, Cal.
Yeah.
Kale.
How in the F?
Hey, Kale.
Yeah, C-A-L-E. I'm sorry, C-A-L-E. I don't know why I say K-C-L-E.
C-A-L-E. I think he's written in before, too.
Yeah. It says, how in the F am I supposed to make any money when the artist that I would love to have drawing covers or maybe even 1 or 2 posters are charging 10, 15, 20K as you've recently had on special issues? I had no idea that you artists charge so much, especially for a cover image. What the hell is happening? How am I supposed to even break even? With a $20,000 cover, I would need to at least make 40K, considering the art, the printing, and everything else that goes into the book.
You'd have to make more than that.
Yeah,
I can almost
100,000 to be able to, because you'd have to print that many books to get the money back to have enough money to pay everybody to do your internals and a 20K cover.
Now, Russ, you charge 20K for a cover, so
I wish.
I was going to say I could almost promise you that if you approached Russ with 1K, his ears would perk up and say, "How soon do you need it?"
Yeah, when do you need it by? Yeah.
Split it down the middle, and I'll take it.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, man.
Yeah.
That's your bill twice over. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta look at who you're asking to do this. Are they asking Mark Silvestri and Eric Basadula, David Finch? Are they asking those people? Hell yeah, you're gonna have to pay that. Frank Cho. For real, they probably have 20,000 of those independent publishers contacting them so that they can piggyback off their name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Exactly it. Yeah.
That's it.
It's not
longer
and
paying
please
artists.
please don't take this the wrong way. Please don't take this the wrong way. You're not necessarily paying for the standard of the art. You're paying for the name there. All those people that April just said are brilliant. Okay, they're fantastic artists. But it's not. There are other fantastic artists out there who won't charge you 15, 20K and actually will charge you perhaps a tenth of that.
Yeah.
In fact, less than 100. If that. I do covers anywhere, but if I would do a cover anywhere between 150 to 250, depending if you want inks and colors on it. Okay. I'm not Mark Silvestri. I understand that. Okay, he's got much nicer hair than me. He has hair. Right? But the point being is that there are other artists out there. You don't have to spend that kind of money. You just don't.
Eric Hawkins says, "Why does?" Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Like personal example, I commissioned one really big Brazilian artist, Daniel HDR, for a variant cover on Live and Cora, and that was only 250 euros. So that's about 300 USD. And he has been doing Marvel and DC work for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So no, the 20K, you're paying for the name. You're not paying for the artist anymore. Because an artist will rarely ever charge that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
It's a name thing, and it's a very small percentage of people in the industry, okay, that can do that. Very
Yes.
small thing. They're superstars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen.
Hell, I would think you're talking to either that high rung of people or the people that just don't want to do work for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
always that, yeah.
Sometimes they're also paying managers and they're also paying publicists to get them to that superstar status. So
True.
just because they might be charging a larger ticket price doesn't mean that all of that's going right into their pocket.
Yeah.
On top of that, just because you pay that $20,000 or whatever, you might get the rights to print that
Yes.
art, but I don't think you get to keep that art.
Mm.
So also keep that in mind. If you end up doing a contract, you are able to crowdfund or do whatever you need to do in order to do that. So make sure that you have very, very clear bullet points of what your expectation is, especially if you're dropping that kind of money.
Yeah. The minute you start taking a third mortgage on your house to get a cover done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would Eric brought up a good point. He says, why does everyone think we artists are cheap? But then again, I'll do a cover for way less than $20K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time artists are doing it because they're passionate about it, but sometimes it becomes a deadline thing. Are they going to get in trouble by doing your book ahead of somebody else that they've already done? There are some shuffling issues. I don't know about all you all, but ever since COVID happened, I have been more busy than I have ever been in my effing life. And it's great and I love it. But I constantly am telling people that if you're on my commission list, and I'm thankful to have them on there, they have to be patient. Otherwise, I got to know a deadline and I got to push it to the forefront and get myself in trouble another.
You know what it is? It's draw, monkey, draw. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's great. With doing Rising Tides, the mermaid thing that I'm doing on Kickstarter right now, I am doing this as a passion project. Mermaid is a deadline kind of thing. It is only happening during May. That's the only amount of time that I'm giving myself to do my passion project. And then after that, I'm back to the grindstone until I pull myself out of it again for my passion project, which I almost never do. It's only my second crowdfunding thing ever. So it's I don't know, it's a whole different anxiety that I've never had as an artist before, because I would go to conventions and you guys would just be like, hey, I want this, and I would draw it right there, and then if I had to mail it because I didn't finish it, no big deal, but it was one thing, just one. So I mean, this is apples and oranges anymore, but if not every artist is charging $20,000, not every artist is doing that. And I don't know, shopping around and finding talented up-and-comers, people who are hungry for doing art, those people are going to help push your book, help promote your book. You might actually raise them out of obscurity. I don't think I'm the best artist ever, but I see my art evolving and changing to help the creators that are getting me onto their projects. And I hope that all together that we become stronger for it. So, make sure that, you're getting people who want to help you succeed, because they'll want to be along for the ride, because you get a menagerie of artists and it's going to be awesome. So
look at Mike. Mike's like, hey, I got commissions open right now.
I'll happily do a cover. I'll even send it out to my colorist, and she will do the most marvelous job at it. And pretty much not cost that much to get colored either. And that's the thing too. Like, if you want to create a comic and you got ideas in your head and you are willing to invest into it, like you're already looking into artists, there are plenty of places where you can find artists that are a lot cheaper, will do a magnificent job in the style that you imagine in your head, and will perfectly fit what you are intending to do with your comic. And those people will go for $50, maybe $100 a page, and maybe $300 for a cover, and that's on the high end. You know, if you look for say more Eastern creators from the Philippines or Korea or whatever, they will do it for $20-$30, and they will still have the Marvel and DC style that you might be looking for. Like, it
That's
really
where
doesn't
Marvel
have.
needs to get my talent from.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they get their talent from too. Like, and there are plenty of artists who would love to work on a project with you if you are open to them, if you are willing to invest into them, if you are willing to appreciate them, and you know, show off that you can write a script, that you know how to make things cohesive, and if you can at least put the script together, then finding an artist to work that script into a real comic is going to be a breeze. But
I think a realistic approach to what you expect is important as well.
yes.
And I'm not just talking about the standard of the art. I'm talking about the professionalism, the experience. And for instance, if you want a comic to be done and you want it done in 2 months, then you don't expect the person that you're going to be paying to have a job. You're going to be expecting them to do the pages as their job. If that's the case, you need to pay more per page. You remember, it's like you can have it cheap, you can have it well done, or you can have it quickly. Pick two. You can't have all three. So you have to be aware of the business process about what you're asking another artist to do, and how and what your process is to select them, as in how high the standard is, how quickly it's going to get done, what price it's going to be. That you have to take all these things into account. You can't just go out and have any artist you want. If somebody's going to give you something that has all of those three in, it's really cheap, I'm going to get it done really, really quick, and it's going to be the best art you've ever seen, then start being skeptical. Okay.
Yes.
At the very least, even if that person is exactly what they say they are, they're not going to be there after a couple of weeks of showing the art off, because somebody else is going to step in and take them. So just be careful with how you approach and how you decide on the people you're going to work with. Sorry, that was my popper.
Popper speech.
Apologize.
Can't argue with that.
Perfect.
Then
just to say that I know, sorry, because I know some people say, "Hold on a minute, you know, how are some people expected to do this on like $50 a page?" It's like, well, the people that are charging just $30 to $50 a page are very likely going to be having their own job. There's no way they could survive on $50 a page otherwise.
Yeah.
So that means you've got to have your expectations set as to what your standards are going to be, as far as experience is concerned, or as far as final outlay is concerned, and also how quick you're going to get it. So
this one just came in, and this will be the last one. Then you guys can go into the part. I know we got to talk about April's book.
We do.
Yeah, this one.
I'm sure Mike would like to talk about his book.
Yeah,
eventually.
This one is from Sam, and Sam says, I'm gonna take the name out of here because this is me.
Sam
says I got an a-hole named. I won't say the name.
It's somebody here. I'm sure
who has been on your program. Who is now shocked at the fact that I charge a kill fee for my artistic services. The douche canoe tried to hire me because his
canoe. Sorry. He's a douche canoe. I like that. Sorry. Continue, Varian. Sorry.
Tried to hire me because his art is less than ass, and is shocked that I ask for a deposit and a $300 refundable, but paid in advance kill fee in case the project is canceled. I've worked way too hard on a lot of projects and seen them canceled or never released, and it sucks. It's a waste of time.
I just want you to point out that the person he is talking about is not me.
No,
or me.
No,
or me.
No, it's no one on this panel. It's no one on this panel.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, this person has not been on the show in some time.
In a long, long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, if someone doesn't want to agree on what you state as your terms to work for them, you can either do two things. You can negotiate on different terms, or you move on and just agree to disagree and not give a damn anymore. Because that's what it comes down to. Yeah, if he pisses you off, then he's already not going to be a fun client to work for.
Mm-hmm.
So move on, get a different one.
Yeah,
There's plenty of clients.
Exactly. Mike's got a point there. If you have dealings with people and they don't make you happy, the best thing to do, the professional thing to do, is move on and walk away, and don't badmouth anybody. Okay, because if you're going to kick someone on the way up, you may well be getting kicked by them on the way back down. Just be professional at all times. If you've got a beef with someone, just leave it. Just walk away and get on with something new. I every time I go and get a new gig, pretty much everybody tries to offer me a deposit. Pretty much everybody. Mm-hmm. And I normally, if I'm going into a page system, I tend to say, I tell you what, I don't like large deposits. Okay, because it puts me in a situation as well. So what we do is we work it out on a 5-page basis. I draw 5 pages, and if you screw me over, I've only lost 5 pages. Okay, if you're not going to screw me over and I get 5 pages of pay, the client's happy as well, and nobody is putting too much at risk at any point in time. So if you find a way that works for you, where you and your potential clients are at smallest risk possible, contracts are always welcome. Okay. Not that you want to really get into legalese, but it's always welcome to have an agreement, a written agreement with you, the two of you signing. But just try and find yourself a process that you're comfortable, that you're not giving out too much risk, and vice versa. And if people screw you over, please just try and be the pro and try and walk away and forget it. Because I've had my fair share of people dumping on me from a great height, and it's not worth bitching about. Because people just think you're a whinger. Mm-hmm. So just get on with it. Be the bigger person. I know you can be.
Don't be a douche canoe.
I'm in a contract. I'm in a contract right now, or at least an agreement with an artist where I don't pay an upfront fee, because I've never paid an upfront fee to an artist. And I've been doing this for a long time, because I've learned from personal experience that when you do pay an upfront fee, you're almost encouraging the artist not to draw, or to draw just barely on deadline.
Yeah, we're wasters. Don't trust us.
But I pay a performance fee. When they kick in 10 pages, actually I'm kind of anal. I ask to see the pencils so that I'm not wasting their time, or even the layouts first, and then the pencils, and then the finished inks, and boom, there's money in their PayPal immediately. Because that's the way I like to work.
If there's one thing that imbues trust in an artist with a client, is seeing them pay up immediately.
Yeah.
Because as much as we all work in a business environment, we're all aware of things like 30-day payment terms and 60-day payment terms and stuff like that. You've already done the work by the time it's not just that you've handed over a product. Oh, I've sold this to you. I'm happy to get my money for it in 60 days time as per the invoice. No, you've just spent God knows how long, how many days doing the work. Even if it's like I was talking about, 5 pencil pages, pencils and inks, whatever it might be, you've spent 5 days doing that work. Okay. You should be paid for it straight away. So seeing that money come in, I'm actually working with a guy called Joe Fulton at the moment, and we're working on a 48-page book, and he's doing exactly the same thing. I've actually put off payment for different bits and pieces, but we're doing exactly the same thing. And and he's doing exactly what Randy's doing. He's seeing layouts, then finished pencils, then finished inks, and they'll be paid for appropriately in the time. But he's already paid me up. He's already paid me for one job that I did for him. Okay, and he paid like that. Right. Okay, and we were already getting on very well. We've become good friends anyway. But it does really underpin the relationship between you and a client if you see them pay up as quickly as they can once something has been delivered. If you wait around for like weeks and weeks for payment, the alarm bells should start ringing. Don't do any more. And certainly if you can, like I say, if you don't get into that as little risk as possible, maybe doing 5 pages and then getting paid. Don't do the next 5 until you get paid for the first 5, no matter what the schedule.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that Randy. Go ahead.
That reminds me, I have one project that's out there hanging that I got to answer today. That's an artist who sent me stuff. I gotta send him some money.
So I'm not late yet, mate. You got some time from me.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got to pay my colorist.
Well, what I was also going to say is not only do I pay that page rate when he turns in that section of pages, but I also have an incentive with him because once I saw the style, realized that he was made for this book, I pay him a finish boost of an additional amount per page if he hits the deadline, which, right now we're on tight deadlines and he's doing really well at it. But on top of that, I'm giving him 20% of the property.
Nice.
Anything that comes in. But that's because I've looked at that work and I've gone, oh, dude, you are made for this book. This is incredible.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But again, it's because I've been in this business for a long time and I know what it's like to work on a project like this.
If you want to keep people,
yeah,
then you have to be fair with them. You got to treat them well, and it doesn't mean that you have to give them. It'd be nice if somebody gave me 15K for a cover. It doesn't mean that you have to have oodles of money. It just means that you're fair and that everybody gets something out of it, and that people don't feel like they're being abused.
I don't think these people understand. If any artist on this panel got 15K for a cover, how puppy-like loyal would be to that person. Does it? What do you need me to draw? Huh? Here's the thing, though. It's Randy. It's funny you mentioned your system of paying artists because it's the same system that I adopted later on. Not at first. At first, I was, do the art and then I'll pay you, and I would pay them, as they brought in art. The problem for me when I had my office is that I started getting the because they were working on my projects, and I started getting the pawn. I call it the pawn shop mentality, where these guys would come in, they bring the pages, they get paid, then they go off and do whatever it is they were going to do, and I wouldn't see them for another month and a half. And at that time, like the deadline is gone. So I learned to stop making deadlines. But the problem is I had this overhead of having this big fancy office.
Yep.
But the other thing is we mentioned that how you pay. With the creator-owned project, I always do I've done 60-40. I'll be honest with you, I've done 80-20, where the creator got 80% and I got 20%, and I always break even with them. I mean, I even up with them after every show in cash, or even if they're not there, I even up with them. But yet, here's the thing: I got the small company, quote unquote. It's hard for me to try to get people, but yet there's other companies out here that are larger, and at least they appear to be larger, that are sending out 10-cent royalty payments every quarter. But yet I'm the guy that they look at and say, oh, well, you're too small. And they trick my talent into going over. Oh, well, I'm gonna go over to this company. And I guess it's because they think, oh, well, look, I got this label on my book. I'm big time now. No, you're not. As a matter of fact, you not qualify for government assistance.
There has been and will persist in the industry for a while. Yeah, I believe this myth that you are only a pro if you've worked for the large publishers.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes.
And that, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Okay, you're a pro if you get paid for it. If people consider that you are worthwhile enough to pay for your services, you are a professional artist. If that's what you do. Okay. Now you may be a pro with different attributes on your CV. Okay, on your record of work, but that it doesn't make you better or worse. And it's not about the money. Because we all know that the page rates in the mainstream industry aren't as great as they used to be. In fact, they're probably the same. It's just that inflation has zoomed off over the top of them. Okay, it's and there will be people out there. I know several examples who are making good livings out of drawing, out of creating new IPs, new comic books, and selling them direct to consumer. So the problem is you do have this, or the almost X factor sort of Hollywood sensation of you must only work for the big names. And that's more about stardom. Personally, I think it's more about stardom and fame than it is about the work itself, than it is about actually wanting to draw comics. I'm driven to draw this stuff. Believe you me, there's more money in what I used to do. Like a lot more money. Okay. But this is something that's in me. It's something that I've always wanted to do. Part of my drive to draw comics isn't just because I love the medium. I think it's the best story medium personally. Okay, it's not just because I love the medium and because of the nostalgia that I feel for the comics that I loved as a child, but also because part of the drive is I want to be good enough that people want to pay me. That's part of the dream. It's part of the dream that people think, do you know what? That's really valuable. That service, that IP, that story, that page, whatever it is, that's so valuable that I want to pay for it. Okay, whether that be the client, okay, the publisher, or whether it be a customer, okay, they want to pay for my services as an illustrator, as a comic book artist, okay, and that, and that's what's important, and that's what unfortunately a lot of people who approach the comic book industry, and I use the word industry to encompass all of us, not just a bit larger publishers that approach the comic book industry thinking that it's like Hollywood, that you're going to get some kind of fame out of it, or that it's the cool job or whatever. Okay, so many of us are driven to do it because it's in us as storytellers or as artists, and that's what we want to do. We didn't come here for the money.
No.
Okay, if you make money, and there's no reason why you can't make money in comic books.
Yeah.
Okay, if you apply yourself, if you work hard and you improve your craft, okay, but you have got to work really hard, probably harder proportionately than you have to do in other careers. Okay, but you can't just turn up and be a star. Okay, and just because you end up working for a larger publisher or a corporate comic book publisher doesn't mean you get the stardom either. Like I said, not everybody's getting 15K for a cover. You know, you got to be realistic about it, and that's unfortunately that's the problem you've come across there, Varian. Is you know this as much as me. You've been in and around. You've knocked around long enough. It's just this myth that you're only a pro if you've got a bigger publisher on your CV, but it's just wrong.
A long time ago,
a
long time ago, when I started doing art, semi-professionally, it was, well, what can I do for you? What do you need? What do you need? And a decade later, I'm looking at it like I'm gotta sign on to a project that I want to do. Yeah. And then when I start doing art, I want it to be something that I'm proud of. And I am my own worst critic. So when I give that to somebody else, they're like blown away. There is nothing. Well, I mean, of course, coffee and food make me very happy, but there's nothing more inspiring than seeing somebody's whole face, their whole body just change when they see this.
Yeah.
And then I Zoom call them and it's like hanging over their shoulder and I'm all like,
yeah, no, that is super cool. Yep. I know exactly what you mean there, April. It's like when you start off, you're hungry, you're looking for every gig. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Yep. And you get to a point where you do hone your skills. I mean, none of us are the finished article. We're always learning more. We're always looking to learn more from other artists. Yep. But you do get to a point where you have got something. You've got somewhere towards your goal. Okay. And you're starting to get work in. Okay. And then suddenly, instead of I'll do anything you want me to do, it's like, the people are coming to you and saying, will you do it for me the way you do it? So you've kind of arrived at a point where it's turned round and people are after your style. People are after what you can give, even if it isn't just a style, even if it's just a professionalism, even if it's just like, I know you get things done on time. Can you come work for me? And it's a different dynamic then. It is a different dynamic. And I believe you're absolutely right. It's at that point, probably you could say you're a pro, because people
Yeah, 4 to 5 years ago, they would be like, "Oh, whatever you want, I trust you." And now it's you know what, whatever you want, I trust you. And I'm like, it's a totally different mindset
Yes.
from
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
like I thought was a default. Like I don't want to put any restrictions on to. No, really, I've seen the work that you've been putting out. Nothing can sway. Like I'm sure that you're going to do great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there is some pretty cool turn of events happening like right in front of my very face, and the fact that I see it, I acknowledge it, and I love it. Oh my god, like it's groundbreaking to me on a professional level.
Mm.
I tried to not draw. I tried. I went to college and I was trying to be a physicist. Fuck that. Not working out.
Love it. Well,
Calculus 2 wiped the floor with me. It was not
yeah.
working out. And I immediately switched to art. And I spent that last like semester, 2 semesters, like getting things just done, like stacking in the art studio stuff. It was nothing but art studios and art history classes for that last year. And I mean, it was, I tried to do something else. I couldn't. Like, I create art. It's what I
the
do.
physicist in you
It's
might not agree, but
yeah.
the physicist in you may not agree, but I think the universe gave you what you needed.
I think so. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, it gave me like from a scientific standpoint, it's encouraged me to understand what I'm drawing. Like, why is this happening? Like, what direction are you following? And then I sit there and think about all of the calculations that it would take for them to fall, and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Well, now my 7th grader's in algebra. She's in 7th grade and she's doing algebra. And so when I need time to step away from my art desk, I'm all like, "Hey, do you need help with doing, Pythagorean theorem or something? Come on, let's do this." Worst mom ever.
I've completely forgotten all that. I used to use a lot of algebra equations. I used to program. I used to write apps and stuff, but I can't do anything now. I've become old man dad. I just sit at the drawing board and complain a lot. That's me.
When you're not shouting at parked cars.
When I'm not shouting at parked cars, yeah. Or going out and wearing my garden out because I can't go training in a dojo.
Oh.
That's back next week, everyone. Yes, real life training next week. I might even be able to hit someone. That'd be great.
Fingers crossed. I have to tell you, we've had so many restriction finishing lines moved here in Michigan. We don't know what's going on.
Oh dear.
They just told us they magnanimously allowed the bars to stay open now until their usual closing times, not until I think it's the 27th of the month. And it's like, yeah, okay, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. The government said apparently we're allowed to hug people next week.
Oh, awesome.
I got a little message for the government.
Yeah.
I'll go off fucking like now. Get lost.
Right.
So what everybody needs to organize is a hug fest. Yeah. You all need to organize a hug fest where everybody steps out of their flat and runs to the flat next door and gives everybody a hug.
Yeah.
Panic.
Yeah, then things start getting really difficult, and the police are called.
Exactly.
Don't touch me.
Well, I was just hugging my neighbor, officer.
She didn't want a hug. Okay, like leave her now.
Oh my gosh!
I haven't hugged anybody in over a year and a half. Come on.
I can't wait for my first con. I'm going to make it so weird.
Cons,
yes. I do think you're right. First cons are going to be very weird.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
You still there, Varian? No, we're looking at Rising Tides.
Yes.
Tales of the Deep.
Need to see more.
This is my art book. This is all the gloriousness. My list of suggestions for my drawing stuff. Today is going to be rockabilly, so that'll be super fun. But yeah,
This
these are
is
super
wonderful
fun.
stuff.
Thank you. So these are some vintage prints that I had created before COVID happened, and I figured they'd be a nice opportunity to, well, get the hell out of my house. So still part of the theme, but not part of the drawing challenge, you know? So I've got those already up, rolling, because there's, yeah, I don't know, like 6 or 7 of them. And then there's actual original art created for the book underneath it. So I've always loved the idea of creating original characters. Like when we come into it, you know, come into the art world, we're constantly doing that. What can I draw for you? What can I draw for you? Kind of mentality, and it's really scary because we automatically think everybody is wanting Superman and Spider-Man and Wonder Woman and like all of these big named copyrighted characters. And it's a little intimidating to try to come up with something that is original, unique, what is going to showcase my artistic talent and make people want to stop at my table, not just for the character, but for the art. And a couple of years ago, I decided to do that with drawing women in wings. So I did like hummingbird and butterfly and whatever, like just a bunch of like random stuff. And I think that was my best con ever, which I thought was really, really inspiring. Because, well, financially, the numbers didn't lie, and I felt very empowered as an artist. And so, a couple years later, I come up with the mermaid idea, and I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. I can do all kinds of aquatic inspired characters, and that's what I wound up doing was a whole set of mermaid inspired pieces. Now we flash forward like, you know, 3 or 4 years, and here I'm doing Mermaid, which is an intentional 31-day immersion of creating art. And whether I am doing, like this one was narwhals, or this one, you know, doing the gal, all super beautiful tattoos,
Hell yeah.
Lovely stuff.
anglerfish.
That one is on the page, and it's glorious.
Thank you. So the idea is I can do just about anything, and it's really, really fun. And then, of course, yeah, I wind up drawing more than just 31 pages. So the last book I did, Squee After Dark, which is its own thing, wound up being like 52 pages plus a mini print. Like I literally drew that much in that 1 month span, and I put it all into a book and sent that out to the crowdfunding supporters. Mermaid is pretty much on track to be probably over 40 pages long. So you're going to get a lot of content. You're going to have quality art. You're going to have backer rewards. I've got a couple of things that are coming out. Like I got Shelby Robertson to agree to do a cover for me for my Indiegogo campaign. And I have been friends with him for a while before I even knew who he was. I was just like, we're gonna be friends. And then, you know, I realized he had a Wikipedia, and I'm like, what? So anyway, yeah. So he's gonna do my my Indiegogo exclusive, and December Lace is gonna do a photo shoot and send me some stuff so I can Photoshop her as a mermaid and do some art around her. So
Nice.
That'll be exciting. That'll be my very first cosplay extravaganza. So fingers crossed that turns out okay. She's beautiful, and I only want her to just shine. I hope that it turns out okay. So we're hoping to have that as a board as well. And if it turns out even better than expected, we might even do that as an exclusive cover too. But verdict is out on that still. And then with all of the printing options that the printers have as far as specialty papers and different I don't know, they blow me away. They just got the perfect binder thing where they can create like trade paperback kind of ordeal. And I'm like, oh, my brain starts going on directions, and I'm like, kind of want to, challenge them at the same time.
Okay, but a quick question. Like, everything in this book is going to be like traditionally drawn, right?
Yeah.
That's epic.
I'm a machine sometimes.
Holy crap.
Thank God
Yeah.
for caffeine. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw on the if you scroll up and you saw the rewards, like I'm hand coloring the original, but the postcard that was unlocked for the $1,000 stretch goal, that was digitally colored.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful. I was really excited. There's something really neat about using monochromatic colors. Like you can really make something come to life with just the tints and shadows and stuff like that. So I was inspired with the blue. I don't know. But I sometimes get really silly too. I'm doing a cross promo with Breed, and they have a Minotaur. So I did a Minotaur with the manatee tail. And I thought it was kind of clever with the sea cow. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. So I've got the colors digitally done, and it looks really amazing. So I'll probably release that later today or tomorrow because it's already done. But I wanted to send it to the creator just to see if they needed anything added before I release it. The guy that was doing my mermaid sticker wound up hurting his hand, so I still have to create the sticker myself. But the bookmark is done, and so it's fine. He sent me a sketch idea of a mermaid eating fish sticks, and I thought it was hilarious, but I'm just not that funny. So I look at it and I get really intimidated, and I'm like, damn it, this is perfect. I just need to stop thinking about it. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Anyway, please continue. Scroll through, make it lovely.
You're there, Variant, keep scrolling.
Yes. So I've got blank variants available too, so I can customize art onto the papers. I find with IDW and Marvel and DC that they've got these really nice books and everything, but it always bleeds through. Not with my books. My books have that special paper, and it's amazing. And I could practically paint with my markers without having any bleed through onto the cover page. It is
nice.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's got a good toothing to it, so it can do marker, it can do paint, watercolor, it can fill colored pencils. Awesome. Oh, and this is the Naughty Stripper Fairy Cross promo. So Wendy has one where she's got a green and blue tail, and then I switched my colors to have like the red beta fish style tail. So I thought that was pretty clever. Ha ha ha. And, safe for Facebook. So we've got a bunch of different tiers. We've got original art tiers. We've got print bundle tiers. We've got tiers that have every variant because there's, a couple of different options with specialty papers and stuff that we're exploring. Keep going.
I'm here. Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I was preparing another Indie Vote thing that but you guys will find out about that later today. You're gonna love it.
Ooh,
So we
excellent.
just got through. I just got through with it. So okay, I had to go silent though because as I was listening to this conversation while having one. It's crazy. But you guys are gonna enjoy it. So this is the classic cover hollow foil variant Kickstarter exclusive. Classic with 1S, by the way. 1S. We're gonna pick on that out. Should we pick on Lisa about that?
Yeah.
We'll pick on. We'll get her. we'll pick on Lisa about that. The hollow foil. I love hollow foil. I love anything that's shiny.
I do too.
Yes.
I love that it's available for indie creators to actually utilize. Because, I mean, before it would just be like something that Top Cow or Image Comics would be able to do with their spot foiling, and I had to have like all the colors and whatever bullshit thing. It was crazy. But now I'm, I don't know, like whenever I am creating the artwork that I know is going to go onto hollow foil, I try to really I don't know, utilize the paper as much as possible. So I add like, negative spacing or some colors where you have larger batches of, let's say, blue or larger batches of, let's say, green or something, that whenever it shines in the light, like it almost explodes off the page. If it's too busy color-wise, you miss out on the magic of the hollow foil. But by giving it larger spaces of solid color or subtle gradation, then all of a sudden you get that rainbow effect and you don't have to work as hard. So, what? It's true.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm like, I have my own main cover for the next Love and Korra open. I'm like, I could do that with that.
Right? Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
somewhat
You gotta
shocking.
think. Yeah, you gotta think smarter, not harder, right? Like, Scrooge McDuck.
Exactly. Yeah. This is really cool stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the work is beautiful. Seriously.
Thank you. It's a labor of love. Like, you try so hard to, just do it because you want it to look nice, and then you wind up doing it for yourself and you find that you do so much more. It's weird. It feels weird to say. So then these are the original pages that are going inside of the book. This is the quality that you will be able to expect from the interiors. And it is single splash pages. It's, it's designed to be an art book. And I will have comics coming out like later in the year. In fact, I had Clifton King do a script for me for a mermaid inspired story. And after doing this, am looking to create that book, and I don't know if I'm going to have it be like a children's story or if I'm going to have it be like a legit comic, but I plan on it being like having a story arc over several issues or several books. And I kind of want it to, I don't know, think of it like Pirates of the Caribbean, where she stumbles upon a relic or something, and over time she winds up becoming decrepit and like dragon-like, where it's like, it's hers, and she turns from, perky Sailor Moon style Ariel mermaid to the anglerfish kind of inspired thing. And I don't want it to be
almost like Golem in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't know that this is happening because,
Yeah.
you're too close to the problem. But over the course of time, you see her change, both in her behavior, in her actions, in her actual look. And it takes something to break that for her to drop it and figure out this is what was poisoning her, that kind of thing. Anyway, it should be really beautiful. It should be really cool. I have high expectations for it to be amazing, but of course we've got fleshing out before it like becomes like real. So anyway,
That particular mermaid is thick.
Oh yeah.
With 2 C's.
Yeah.
I think what matters the most to me about this whole project is that I'm not fixated on it just being a Caucasian redheaded mermaid. I want all facets of life. I want some thick girls, some thin girls, some old, some young, some guys, some gals. I don't know, ethnic inspired, like from India. Or I had I don't know if you saw the Alaskan native with the walruses. Yeah. So I'm trying to be encompassing of like more than just Ariel, you know. So I don't know. I'm hoping that'll give a wide range of artistic inspiration. I don't know, because mermaids can be anything. They can be colorful. They can be monochromatic. It can be plain. They can be super gorgeous. I really excited to share.
You can start a whole new fandom. Thick mermaids.
Yeah.
There now. Oh, look at that mermaid, man. She's thicker than quicksand. What?
That coloring job is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all done in markers. And then I took a little bit of white watercolor to kind of do like the water brushing on the tail and stuff. Yeah, it's I don't know. It'd be great if I could do it all with Copics and never have to like work with other mediums, but I wind up having to rely on white watercolor to get some of the waving, or to I'll use like gel pens, even sparkle gel pens.
The thing isn't so much being like wanting to keep yourself to one thing. The fact that there's other things that will only enhance the work mean that they're worth using. You know, don't limit yourself to just one thing by all means.
That's why I love coming on here, because I get to meet proper artists. People that do proper art.
You never know who's going to be on the show.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
I love him.
Incredible.
April, I'm sorry, but we're closing out the top of the hour. You might want to let folks know how they can get a hold of you and how they can find this great book.
Oh, thank you.
One more time.
I can be found on Instagram and Facebook under Reyna Art, Reyna. You can also go to Kickstarter and support this particular book called Rising Tides, Tales of the Deep. I also wind up posting the link once a day on my personal pages. So if you forget what it's called, you're welcome to find me on my fan page. And thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. And for our radio audience, that was April Reyna, Reyna. Make sure you look for her on social media and check out on Indiegogo. Right? Rising Tide, Tales of the Deep.
By the way, Reyna, have you been on Brian K. Morris' show yet?
I don't know who he is. I'm sorry.
Okay, because he does Rising Tide publications.
Yeah.
No kidding.
That has to happen.
Yes.
Just for my lols.
Okay. That's so cool. No, I'm afraid I don't know Brian.
Yeah, he does a media show on the belief that a rising tide raises all ships. That's why he calls himself Rising Tide. So he likes to go out and promote people that he finds in the industry in order to. He just is he's like us. We're just out there promoting products over and over, wherever we can find them, especially great quality products. So,
oh wow! Thank you.
There's an example of Russ Leach on the screen right now from Only Death Can Save Us.
I don't do mermaids. I do snake women.
I love it.
You do nagas.
So there is some proper art in there, because I did the inks traditionally, but everything else
proper art. That's
some
funny.
proper art. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
There's enough of that.
I was gonna say, there's this. I gotta say one controversial thing every show. You guys know that, but there's this. There's talk of that medication that will keep the
keep a woman from having to go through that thing every month she goes through. She can have it one time a year, and I'm pretty sure that picture you just showed is a result. That one time a year.
I think it's actually closer to the menopause.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate
probably.
Yes. Don't worry. Yes. We won't talk more about that. I have personal.
Now, if we're on the Underwater 3 is theme, Life on Korra is going to be Life on Korra 4 is going to be underwater as well, and this is the main cover. So I was like, yeah, I can do this in hollow foil because you got all the main colors, and then I only got this yesterday, so this is like a complete preview for most people. And together with that, I got the variant cover made by Nina, who was on earlier, which is going to be exclusive to the Indiegogo campaign, which is going to launch on June 11th.
Very nice.
Now, for folks that haven't run across your book before, Mike, explain to everyone what Life on Korra is all about.
It is a speculative biology series where we look at new kinds of creatures and their way of life in very small, bite-sized 32-page stories, where every issue we look at a new kind of creature and explain what they live like on a world that is very much out there, because it's a single core with lumps of land orbiting around it, like continents, and there's a single cloud that provides it all with water. So it's very much out there. There's no red or yellow hues normally, but because this issue is going to be underwater, there's going to be some pinks and magentas because the water lowers the light frequencies.
That's
Morning, Brian.
Scientific.
Morning, Brian. You're here just as we're about to leave. Thanks for listening.
Just in time.
Hi, Brian.
And that's Life on Korra, Cora. That's available over on Indiegogo. Number 3 is up there now, right? On demand?
Yeah. And the variant covers for that have only been 50 made of. And if you still want either the Stone Server or the Pebbles Apparel cover, let me grab them real quick to show them off. So this one is by Daniel HDR, coming back to the cover thing earlier. Oh, you can see them on the page as well.
Is that the one we have here?
No, that is the world. If you look just below the other cover, there we are. That's the 2 variant covers. Yes. There's only 50 made of each, and they will never be redone again. So if you want either of these and you think like, holy crap, that's cool, especially like the Silver Server variant, got a lot of attention. It actually has something to do within the book. It's not just an homage. Mm-hmm. Then this is your chance because they will never be available again.
And anyone out there who might be anything to do with the Star Wars properties, and you want to do a silicon or rock-based life form, this is how to do it.
Yes.
Preferably something that has some dynamics to it and not just sits there being a rock.
Because it's not just the thing about...
Rocks are no fun unless they're alive. Do you know?
Yeah.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant.
Is that a dig on Star Wars?
No, me never.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You know, my mother's pretty. She's super Christian, and well, sometimes depends. But she likes seeing her biblical movies. Well, she was like, oh, they're making after the Passion. She was totally in love with cinematic Bible stories, and she was really happy when Noah came out. So I followed the production of Noah, and I said, okay. So my mother was sitting in the theater when she noticed something was amiss when she started watching Noah, because they had the rock monsters walking around. These awesomely like CGI rock monsters, and I'm like, yeah.
So Noah has got rock monsters in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it now.
Yeah,
with Russell Crowe. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it now. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yeah.
I am definitely going to be watching that.
Yeah, it has big rock monsters in it. That, yeah, it's a really odd movie.
Great, love that.
Yeah.
This is lovely work, Mike.
Multiple
Thanks so
rewards. Everybody needs to go over and take a look at this.
Yeah,
It's an
go check it
incredibly
out.
unique series.
And it's easy to pick up. You can read it like it's all ages. There's no serious things going on all that much. And if there are, they're usually not the main focus. This is really just a fun, like they're a collection of fun little stories while trying to build the world together with the readers. And for Life on Korra 4 on Indiegogo, we're gonna have a tier to let people make their own creature on Korra. That's gonna be available, like that's gonna be seen in the series.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice creature feature.
For €1,000, I'm going to take my team and we're going to discuss with you how to get your own story into a full issue. So you can have your own complete story on this world.
That'd be cool.
So,
Awesome. Yeah.
Sugar's in the house. Hey, Sugar.
what up, Sugar?
What up, Sugar?
And again, Life on Korra, Indiegogo. Mike,
Nice.
why don't you let
Lovely.
folks know how they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter on @and_ents. You can find me on the website variesandents.com with AE. And I'm also on Facebook as Mike Jimmy de Bruin. And yeah, I'm on Indiegogo with Life on Korra. I got plenty of other things underway. There's a couple of projects that are being created for Fairies and Ends right now that are not being drawn by me or organized by me, but my writers are all over it.
Cool.
And yeah, with 10 publications in, I think we're here to stay, and we got plenty more for the future. So the future is bright for us.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. Russ, let folks know how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube as comic. Oh, look at that.
There it is.
I'll talk quickly about this. This is Only Death Can Save Us. You want all ages action, sci-fi, adventure. This is your thing. It's inspired by Bronze Age comics, but it's got lots of modern twists to it. It's currently in demand on Indiegogo, but will only be there until the end of June. I'll get the exact date when because it goes through monthly cycles. I'll get the exact date soon, but this is the only time you're going to be able to get the book in this format, and then it will be redistributed or be rerun through Arrow Comics, with the first one going out in August. So, but if you want the book in its entirety, the way it currently is, you're only going to be able to get that in demand on Indiegogo up until sometime at the end of June. Like I say, it's fun. Death's the good guy, and he's a big, massive Kirby-esque superhero nut job. It's fun. It's action-packed. There's some depth in there. There's some pseudoscience, just for you, April. There's some pseudoscience in there. Okay, where we talk about levels of existence, but if you don't want to go any deeper than that, if you just want a big punch up with colorful heroes, that's exactly what you're going to get out of these books. And like I say, you can grab the reprints over at Arrow later on in the year. You can find me as Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube. I am just started Enter the Dojo, where you can see me drawing and painting live, whether that's digital or inks traditional. You can see that on a Monday night. I'm hanging around, lurking the Indie Vault airwaves, so you'll see me around here, but you can see me on the channel and find out about how I produce my work over at Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube. You can find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out more about the book at onlydeathcansavus.com. You can find me on the Twitter and on the Fleecebook, and just come find me, and I'm more than happy to chat to anyone about comic book and comic book arts.
Awesome. And folks, we are in the last 2 days of the Indie Revolt. Actually, 41 hours left. I guess we have an hourly countdown as we get closer to it. Only 41 hours left to go. Indie Volt Revolt, the sequential art collection. Now is the time to jump in on this, because as soon as this campaign is closed, this book will not be offered again. There's no other campaigns planned, and for Revolt, this is going to be at least 130 pages, probably 140 before we're done, of short stories, black and white short stories, all done by a wide variety of people and using a wide variety of subjects and topics, genres. There's Russ's story, or part of Russ's story, where he has his character War actually get involved in a bar fight. It'll be it's a lot of fun. Yep, punch outs.
Do it.
A lot of fun. This is a flip book, which means you get 2 front covers on each issue. One book has a front cover by Only Death Can Save Us by Russ Leach, with the other cover being Mischievous by Daphne Lage. The other cover set has Jetpack Girl, we call her Ginger Star, that by Chris Scalf, who did a lot of work for the Star Wars books when Dark Horse had them. It's done a lot of covers for G-Fan and a lot of other publications. And the back cover of that is Retro Ram, that is by Mark Bloodworth, Jason Moore, and Chris Hall. So the interiors are the same on both. Obviously, we offer PDF if you don't want to hold it in your hands. I would really like you to have this, to hold it in your hands, so that you can put it on a shelf and enjoy it whenever you care to. There's a wide variety of stories in it. There's a wide variety of creators, most of which are regular contributors here to Indie Volt Radio. So please go over there and check that out if you can. Only 41 hours left, and then it is done. Other than that, I've been one of your hosts, or your co-host, I guess, Randy Zimmerman. You can find me over on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. Arrow Comics 4.0 has a presence over on Facebook and YouTube already under Arrow Comics 4.0. We will shortly, very soon, be over on Twitter and Instagram as well, as we get closer to our August release date. We're going to start doing monthly, at least 4 books every month for the direct market. Looking forward to doing that. We have a lot of products, some of which we haven't even announced yet, that we will be shortly. And if you go over to those sites and keep an eye out open for those, there's a lot of fun coming. Russ is one of the books that we have coming up, and I think you'll be happy with the variety that we've got heading your way. Varian, are you there?
I am.
Okay. Other than that, Varian and I will be back on Tuesday evening on the Livewire program. We are going to have a closeout stream on Friday starting at 7 p.m. as we close out the Indie Volt Revolt book and do one last push. Hopefully we can get as many of the Indie Volt Revolt creators there to talk about the stories that they've done. So please note that 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will start that. The closing date on the campaign, or the closing time on the campaign, is Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll also, I'll be back on Sunday morning, maybe with Russ, maybe with Daphne. We'll see if she can get that horn knocked off her head and be able to appear that Sunday morning for the Sunday Funnies program, where we try to talk about the more whimsical and lighter side of comics. Then again, we'll be back for Livewire Tuesday night, and again Thursday morning here for the Breakfast Buzz at 9 a.m. on Thursdays. Chris says, "I'm glad I could show up at the end like usual." Yeah.
Well, that's what he does.
Nice to have you here, Chris.
I've nicknamed Chris the Human Victory Cigar. He shows there. Oh, it's time. We're smoking cigars. It's time to leave. He's here. It's time to wrap the show up, guys. You can.
Hello, we must be going. Yes,
and you can find me back again, like Randy said, 9 o'clock on Tuesdays on Indie Volt Live Wire. Special issues this week. Indie Volt. It's at 2. Go back to we're going to our original time.
What are we doing later today? Is there anything you can announce, or what? Is it going to be on Indie Volt?
There's something later today.
Oh, yeah. You said you were organizing something.
Well, I am. We have something called the Indie. Don't get excited, guys. Don't get excited. It's called the Indie Volt Comic Con. It is not a con. It is not an online con. We're not. You don't get a spot. it's something funny that we're doing.
Is it a different meaning of the word con?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
dear.
I know how you think.
Yeah. It's called the Indie Vote Comic Con.
I read your book.
Yeah,
It's a grift show.
Yeah, except this time, here's the thing: we're doing the grifting.
Yeah,
we're doing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys can tune in. We'll post it when it's ready.
Fraud is always acceptable when it's your friends.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Tune in to Indie Vote Radio. You can do so now. Our radio numbers this morning: 57801. 57801. Thank you guys for tuning in. Indie Vote Radio on Google Play.
Obviously, we got shot at China again, huh?
Yeah. iPhone users can download it on the streamer and tune in.
They saw them mermaids. That's what it was. No, I'm just kidding.
No, don't do mermaids. Son.
As well as you can ask that pretty lady on your desk or on your phone or your wall, Alexa, to play Indie Vote Radio for you, and she will do that as well. Then tune into Indie Vote TV on Roku or Roku-enabled devices. You got a Roku TV? Go look up Indie Vote TV. It's free. It's our streaming network. We have independent movies, some special Indie Vote episodes that YouTube says you can't put that on our platform. We said, screw you guys, we'll put it on our own. Some independent wrestling. There's lots of cool stuff up there. So Indie Vote TV over on Roku. And then if you want to send us one of those emails, you can do so at IndieVoteLive at indievote.com. Include IndieVote Live in the subject, and please keep those emails 90 words less so I can put it on a card and we can read it and make fun of you on Livewire.
Remember, there's no question too serious, no comment too silly. Please send those in to us because remember, our feedback will be better because of your setback. Hashtag get an education. Hashtag IndieVote.
Should we say a word about our sponsors or
no? But guys,
no, but we absolutely love our sponsors.
If anybody's looking for Gemini mailers, by the way, Gemini mailers, go to Gemini.com, GeminiComicSupply.com. The coupon code you want to use is Volt VOLT 10 VOLT 10. Save yourself some money. On Gemini mailers.
I've also heard that there's an amazing award ceremony soon.
There is. There's
a legend involved.
Yeah. He won't even play the video anymore.
That's just anyway. That's just very He's already pulled that anyway. So we do have a commercial for the awards, though. You want me to run that?
Actually, you can run that. Run that one. Then our energy drink.
All right. And for more information on that, you can go to indievoteawards.com. This is a judged event. There's only one category that's a popularity contest. The rest of those are you submit a book to us at a small fee, and that fee goes to Autism Speaks. There's a small fee for consideration. Then there's a group of judges that'll look at the work and judge on it on its merits and quality, not on its popularity. So this awards show is really meant to enlighten and advance independent and alternative comics as an art form. It's going to be a professional looking show. It's going to be off of out of Dave and Buster's and broadcast live on the Indie Vote Radio and Roku network, probably, right? Are you going to film this?
Yeah, it'll be filmed. It'll be filmed. It won't be live on.
I know you keep kidding and saying I have to wear a tie. So
yeah, it won't be aired live on the
tuning in for that.
TV, but it will be it will be streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. Maybe just YouTube. It depends, but yeah, we'll work on different things. And Facebook said we can, but now there's limitations. So yeah, yeah. So
always goofy rules.
Yeah, but we will definitely stream it live on YouTube.
And you have an energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Indie Vote.
Wow.
Indie Volt Buzzberry.
I can safely say that after watching that advert, I'm energized.
Yes.
That's the way
I
they
never
bump their
drink
little,
it.
I like
Yes.
the way they bump their little butts together. It's cute. Yeah.
Do you have a new video for special issues coming up on Saturday?
Nothing right now, but yeah, we'll be talking about a couple of different things. Sure to get everyone really in trouble, really aggravated.
It was a very good episode last week. I watched it. I didn't catch it all live, but I got the rest on replay. Very good. Insightful. Very insightful. I suggest people go watch it. It's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, we try to be super serious on that one. I'm growing my Wolf Blitzer beard and everything.
That's when he wears a tie. Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice. You look very smart, Varian.
Yeah.
He does. He does.
You look groovy.
Yeah, there's no raccoon hat on there. So.
Yeah. Glad I could show up. Yeah, Sugar already said that. And folks, we are archived over on YouTube under Indie Volt. Go over there, subscribe, like. Please do that. We are desperately hoping to get to that 1,000 mark. So we really, really have to worry about what we say and do in our content. We can also take on super chats so that Varian can hopefully afford his streaming bill someday. So that's the goal. We are to be continued. Shall I take us out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening to the broadcast today, especially to our worldwide audience. We deeply appreciate you again, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Our next broadcast, is that going to be broadcast today?
Probably.
Or is that a video that'll be available?
It'll be a video that's available.
It'll be a video available. Our next live broadcast is going to be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as we close out the Indie Volt Revolt Sequential Art Collection book on Indiegogo. That'll be at 7 p.m., which is an odd time for us, but the campaign is scheduled to end at the 9 because that's how Indie Volt is. We start or end at the 9s. Yeah. So take care, everyone. We'll talk to everybody soon. Stay healthy. And remember to leave this industry better than how you found it. And we also, before we go, we want to leave you with the immortal words of Mr. Jack Kirby, who says, "Kid, comics will break your heart."
Mm-hmm.
Take care, everyone. And we shall see you soon.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
How can he close me up? On what ground? I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here. You're winning, sir. Oh, thank you very much.